Hi there, and welcome to my camp here by the river, and welcome back to those of you who watched my previous video. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to my almost local woods. This is going to be one of those videos where I sit down and talk, because, you know, there's a lot going on now in the world, and, you know, globally and locally as well. And I've been thinking about freedom a lot lately. It is something that is important to me, and our freedom is under threat. Now, this is not going to be one of those videos where some YouTuber sits down and tells you that the world is ending tomorrow and the elites are out to get us and all that. It's not going to be like that. But I'm going to have to ask you to make a choice. I will explain, but let's get under the shelter, yeah, because my camera doesn't like the rain so much. Okay, so we are living in a time now where things are changing rapidly, and many of these changes, I would say maybe most of these changes, they are not secret, they're out there in the open, but they are being portrayed as good, they're being portrayed as big advantages for humanity. But we need to question these things, and I'm just going to point at some of the things that are going on as we speak. And it's quite sinister, if you ask me. And this is not going to be a negative video. I don't want this channel to be a negative channel. So I'm going to, towards the end of this video, I'm going to give you my suggestion to how we can be free, how we can claim our freedom back, and how we can, if you stay to the end of the video, I'll tell you my opinion on what we can do about all this. One of the greatest threats, I believe, is actually the destruction of wilderness. I guess that's not what you expected to hear, but imagine if more and more of the wild places are destroyed, the woods, all the trees just chopped down. The old forest is gone. We belong in nature. We're part of nature. We are nature. And if you put people in boxes in cities and tell them to stay there, they will be unhappy. But let's move on. The next one is a big one. The Pandemic Accord and international health regulations. Yeah. Once again, I have to talk about the World Health Organization. I believe that the World Health Organization is a threat to our freedom, and I believe that they are owned by Big Pharma. I mean, okay, so some people out there might disagree, that's okay, but I will tell you that if you do not believe that the World Health Organization is controlled by Big Pharma, I would suggest that you look more into it, okay? And I believe that most of the people watching this video who have clicked on my thumbnail and who follow my channel here, I believe that you are awake. That you have a good grasp of what's going on, because this is out in the open. So basically, yeah, I'm not going to get into the details here, but what seems to be happening now is that they take away the sovereignty of nations, and they give full control to the World Health Organization concerning a lot of things. The World Health Organization will have the power to decide, and I'm reading from my notes here, what it takes to put people in isolation. Number 2 here, they will choose which medicines that all doctors in all countries will use. Number 3, it is the World Health Organization that will approve new vaccines and medicines. Number 4, the World Health Organization will choose which manufacturers, which companies of a certain vaccine that should be used in all the countries. They will also decide if those who refuse to get vaccinated will be force vaccinated. I'll say that again, will be force vaccinated, vaccinated by force. They will also have a digital global vaccine certificate. That's coming. And they will decide how and when and if information concerning the health status of a certain some individual will be made public, and they will decide how long people will be put in quarantine, even if they do not have symptoms of any disease. And they're going to vote about this and all that. But, you know, this is where it's moving. It's moving towards this. And again, I will urge you to stay to the end of this video, because I do have a solution to all of this. It's not complicated, and I am going to tell you what I believe we should do, what you should do if you want to be free, if you don't want part of that, okay? So we're going to see again, my notes here, I can't remember all this. We're going to see a global digital health certification network that will be connected to your digital ID, that will also be connected to a central bank digital currency. In other words, unelected globalist entities will be in complete control of your money, your movements, and your life. We're also going to see even more censorship. We're going to see people self-censoring. Well, we're seeing that already. You know, I'm taking a risk talking about this here on YouTube. I know that. And I've had videos taken down in the past. So, and by the way, if you want to support my work here, please consider subscribing. It really helps if you do that, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think in the comment section. So, when you take away people's freedom of expression, freedom of speech, you create a society based on fear, suspicion, lies, and it's a breeding ground for hatred. And we have seen that in the past. And I see that happening already. So I am afraid that, and I guess there are many other things you could add to this list, but I'm afraid that it's not looking so good concerning freedom, concerning your freedom. It's not looking so good. So what can we do about it? I mean, I don't want to sit here and just talk about everything that is bad if I don't have a solution, if I can't tell you what I believe we should do about this. So let's get to that. But first, let's make a campfire and have a cup of coffee. So, what to do? I guess let's get the bugs away from the fire. Yeah, sorry about that. I guess there are two ways to go here. Most people will choose to just go along with it, and they will tell themselves that, oh, it's not so bad, you know, it's not so bad, and it's like this frog in the boiling water. If the frog is there from the start, it just stays there and it dies because the water gets warmer and warmer, and at the end it's boiling and the frog dies, because it's a gradual decline into a kind of society that doesn't really give you any freedom, or it gives you an illusion of freedom. And I think there's a choice to be made here, and you have to make that choice, and it's better if you make that choice now than wait. Don't wait too long, because you can be free. You can live a life in complete freedom. It's up to you. And this is why, you know, the resistance that I will get in the comment section here, and that's okay, but the resistance there is why I say that the biggest obstacle to your freedom, I'm speaking in general terms here, to people's freedom, is themselves. Because they tell themselves that this can't be done. Oh, it's too complicated, it's too expensive, it's too uncomfortable. But yeah, there is a price to pay. And I'm not talking about money, but I'm talking about detaching from modern society. No, I'm not talking about just walking into the wilderness and living off the land. Some people do, but you don't have to do that. You can choose to live a life where you are, let's say, almost completely detached from modern society. Yeah, I had to move out of the shelter because of the smoke in my eyes. So, you know, yes, there's a choice that you have to make, and if you don't make that choice, you already did, because that means that you're just going to stay with things as they are, and you're not going to detach from modern society. You're going to be accepting whatever comes down the line, I guess. And that will be the case for most people. Again, I'm saying you in general terms here. It's a difficult word for a Norwegian to use, that you, by the way. So, you know, it's completely possible to live detached from modern society. Ditch a smartphone. I mean, yeah, there's a price to pay. I did. I think it's been almost 3 years now. And I can tell you that's a good thing to do. That was not it was not like a price to pay, because I don't regret that. Life is much better without a smartphone. You can move out to the city, and people tell me, oh, it's too expensive. Well, actually there are properties for sale, land for sale in rural areas that are very cheap. Some places they're even giving it away still, actually, yeah. And it's possible. People are doing it. People have done it in the past. People are doing it now. They are saying enough is enough, and they're moving away from it all. They've had enough, and they move, and they never look back. You can become nomadic. That's also possible. You can travel without spending too much money. It's very possible to do that. And yes, it might not always go smoothly, but that's life. There will be obstacles along the way. You will likely lose most of your friends, but you will gain new ones. It will be uncomfortable, at least at the start, the beginning. But I think it's a better life. We need to have freedom. And if you don't have freedom, what do you have? Nothing. Nothing. If you don't have freedom, there is nothing. We are nothing without freedom. So let's disconnect from the system. Let's claim our freedom. Because we were meant to be free, and we were meant to be happy. And I don't think that this future that is being designed now has our happiness in mind. I don't think that's even a priority. So, you know, I don't speak about this very often, but I made this choice almost 30 years ago. Because I was studying economics, and right at the end of my studies I decided to stop and become a novelist. And I did. And that gave me a life with a lot more freedom. And I never looked back. That was a decision that was difficult at the time. It was difficult during the years when I made almost no money as a novelist. But I never once regretted that decision. And until otherwise is proven, we have this one life here. Let's make the best. Let's make the most out of it, and claim our freedom and happiness. Get out into nature, connect with nature, because that is connecting with ourselves. So, yeah, thanks for listening. And check out one of the other videos that should appear on the end screen here. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay? Bye.